Okay, now we have created the assessment cycle. What do you say? In the GUI, now we will see. I mean, we will try to create the universal allocation app, Fury app. We will use it. With that also, we will try to create one cycle. Then we will see. Okay. Okay. The app name is Manage Allocations. This is the app Manage Allocations. Yeah. So this is the allocation app. Okay. By using this app, we can create whether it is assessment or distribution or profit center allocation or COPA allocation, any kind of allocations, right? I mean, what we use in CO, all allocations we can create by using the same app. But whereas in ECC or GUI, we have different transaction ports to create these all allocations and executions, everything. But this is the single app. All allocations are possible. Okay. Uh, let's try to create one app. Um, Before that, now in GUI, we have already created one app, right? I mean, one cycle, correct? Uh, what is that? Case key file. Okay, this is the app. I mean, a cycle which we have created. INFin. Okay, if you see here in this Fury, so here if you search that, so there is no data here. Yeah, this is the disadvantage where if you create a Fury app, I mean, if you create an allocation cycle in normal GUI transaction code, I mean, in the GUI system, then it will not be available in Fury and vice versa. If you create a cycle and it will not be available in GUI, so that for the allocation, right? So we have to discuss with the business and whether they want to use normal GUI or they want to use manage allocation this Fury app, right? So accordingly, we have to decide, and then we have to use either one. If they want, I mean, both Fury and it really doesn't make any sense because some cycles are here and some cycles are there. Then at the end, I mean, it's difficult to manage all the I mean allocations. Okay, now let's try to create one cycle. Here, create new cycle, allocation cycle. For example, in one context. Here we have to mention which type of allocation it is. For example, whether you want cost centers, marginal analysis, or profit centers. Margin analysis is nothing but it's COPA, cost centers, and profit centers. Let's take cost centers. in cost center, we have two kind of allocations, right? So we will see whether it is assessment or distribution. Here, intercompany allocation, overhead allocation, and distribution. This overhead allocation is nothing but this is the assessment, and distribution. This is distribution. Okay. Now, I mean, assessment cycle already we have created in GUI, right? Now we will try to create one distribution cycle. Okay. How it works, we will see. This is now we need to also mention the ledger 0L. I will take valid from. I will take beginning of the month. Sorry, beginning of the year. Valid to we can take 31st to 999. Okay, cycle description. What happened? Enter a valid date. I think 31st. Okay, cycle description, finance, cost allocation, company code, IN10. No, this cycle is plan or actuals. Okay, we can also, I told you right at the beginning, we can do plan cost allocation also. Time being, I mean, select actuals. If you want to create plan cycles also, we can create by using this app. Now create. Yeah. Now in this cycle, we need to mention all the like, what we are going to do, same as GUI. So finance allocation, valid date, company code. Okay, any notes if you want, you can mention. Now here create segment and the segment again same as like, who is the sender, who is the receiver, what whether you are going to use percentage or any other thing we need to use, that we have to mention. Okay, actual final cost, finance cost, and the posted amounts, sender rule, receiver rule. Again, we will take fixed percentages. Okay, sender 100%. Next, senders. Okay, here I mean there are a couple of changes, like as of now, if you see account number and cost center is there. Earlier we have, I mean in GUI we have functional area also. If you want, you can add. As of now, the allocation, I mean the sender, at least we have cost, since we have selected cost centers, right? So we can only enter cost center here and account number. In account number, again here there are two options, whether you want single cost element or group. Okay, or else you can give the range also from 2. Here you have to mention the interval. For example, 5 lakh want to 5 lakh 6. I will take cost center, whether you want single cost center or multiple cost centers. Same. I mean, I would like to transfer finance cost to other cost centers. Now receivers, add. So here, this is the limitation again. Okay. If you see here, you can transfer the cost to cost center and WBS element only. As of now, the receivers, let me open a cycle here. If you see here, the receiver side, right? So we have order, cost center, functional area, cost object, WBS element. Okay. Now we don't have order here anymore. So as of now, SAP introduced only these two cost objects as receivers, WBS element and cost center. The reason behind for these two objects in future, I mean, we reached to SAP already on this. In future, uh, they may also, they may not use internal orders anymore. Okay, that is the reason. Now they have not added order here, but yeah, as of now, I mean, by keeping that in the mind, they said like internal orders we are not going to use anymore in the future. That's what we have not added here. But yeah, still some kind of discussions or maybe some kind of enhancements are going on this area. That's what they have not added internal order here. So they have added only cost center and WBS element at the moment. So let's select cost center, add. Uh, Interval. Again, we will transfer to production and production base. So what percentage you are doing? For example, 50-50, I will put transfer. Okay, save. Okay, now we have created the cycle. To execute this cycle, we need data, right? So we can do one thing. Uh, let me create one more cost center so that, I mean, earlier we have already posted the finance cost to the production cost centers, right? Either we can reverse that cycle so that we will get the data back, okay? Or else we can create one more cost center and yeah, we can post some data. Let me try to create one more cost center probably quickly. It's KS01 IN10 admin. Okay, valid from 0101 to admin. Now we will make a booking for this B50. Just I would like to show the difference between assessment and distribution. So that's the reason behind I have created a new cycle. Okay, now the cycle is being created. Let's go to the cost center report once. Okay, if you see here earlier, we have executed the cycle for assessment cycle for this finance cost center through assessment. So the cost becomes zero in this cost center, and now we have posted some cost to this guy. I mean, to okay, we have selected four cost elements. Okay, let it be. So we have chosen four cost elements: salaries, rent, fuel, gas. 3,800 USD we have posted to this cost center. Now 50-50 ratio, I would like to transfer this total admin cost to this production and finance. Okay, let's see how it works. Yeah, before executing the cycle, any doubts on the cycle creation on Fury, or you have any other questions? So as of now, I have created only one segment. Okay, if you want, you can create multiple segments in the same cycle. Okay, let's say you have a finance cost here. Now, if you want to create another cycle of finance and admin together, you can create in one single segment. I mean, one single cycle. Like if you go to segment here, for example, here edit. Okay, now we have one segment here. You can create two more segment. Number two will be added here. For example, admin. Here you can add. Okay, but here we need to change the cost center now, because I would like to transfer the cost from admin cost center to finance. Where it is, senders. Here I want to change my cost center. Save. Okay. Okay. Now we have created the cycle, senders, receivers, everything we kept. I mean, even percentages we have maintained. Now we no need to go to any transaction, put any other app. In this app itself, we have a run option. Okay. Let's run it. Okay. Now this cycle, now you can, I mean, the cycle got selected, right? So here there are two things are there. You have run, test run, reversal run. I mean, before executing the real run, okay, we can do the test run also. We can reverse the run also. Okay, let's do the test run. Yeah. So when you are creating, I mean, executing the run, right? So we have to assign that this cycle to one run. I mean, so that, I mean, if you have multiple cycles also, we can assign all the cycles to one run. Okay, you can give any name to that run, so that all the cycles will be executed in one go. Okay, I have given my run as test. I will give the period as 5005 2024. Okay, validate, run. Test run secured completely. Display test run results. Okay, it's saying in progress. Okay, now we have senders. These are the 4 sending cost elements, and this is the sender cost center. You have receivers. See, I told you, right? This is the difference between distribution and assessment. In assessment, we have used a different cost element altogether, a secondary cost element, to transfer the cost from one cost center to another cost center. Whereas here we are using the same cost elements in sender and receiver sides. Okay, it is getting transferred to production 1 and production 2. It will post a journal entry also. It is showing what journal entry it will post. Okay, this cycle processed. Now go back. Now again, I'm doing now the real run. Just execute it. Test, validate, run. Run triggered successfully. Display run results. Status completed. Okay, this is senders and everything it's showing. Journal entry on. Now let's go to the report, or else from in this app itself, you can see allocation results. It will show all the allocation results. So this is the accounting document number. Let's see, open the document number. So when I click here, it is, further navigating to me. These are the possible Fury apps are there. So let's say Journal Entry Analyzer. I don't know whether it will work or not, because this display general entry and the results app, right? I mean, they have to add these apps together. I mean, when we execute the controllers, if that is already there in the system, then it will display. Otherwise, it will not show anything. Okay, I'm talking. Anybody, any questions on the universal allocation app? Meantime, we will see the cost center results. Okay, now admin cost center. So if you see here, um, the sender is same. I mean, this is the sender side, right? I mean, sender cost center, this one. So you have same credits. Okay, you have salaries here, debit side with the same cost element, primary cost element. We have transferred the cost to receiver cost centers. Okay, so the sender side and receiver side, the same cost elements are used. Okay, this is what I mean, the difference between assessment and distribution. If you see here finance, we have a separate cost element in the senders. Okay, got it. Now go to finance cost center. So if you see here in the production cost center, okay. So if you see here, this is the cost element where we have transferred the finance cost. Okay, but we got some cost also from admin cost center. So 1, 2, 4, and 5. These four cost elements we have used to transfer the cost from admin to production 1 and 2. Here you can see the debits are posted. I mean, the debit side, the cost got posted with the same cost element. For example, if you have already some posted costs are there in the salaries, then you will not identify. I already told, right? Let's say we have another 400 in this salaries, but that 400, I mean, total, it will show now together 1000 USD. In that case, we don't know whether that 1000 is belongs to the same cost center, and also it got from another cost center. To differentiate that, business will use most of the times this assessment instead of distribution. Okay, because I mean, it's difficult, right? I mean, the there are some additional fields and everything, and it's difficult for them also technically to synchronize both the things. And in future, their assumption is to use these allocations, right? I mean, everything in Fury. They don't. I mean, they don't want us to do it in GUI. Yeah, considering and cloud migrations and all, right? I mean, yeah, there won't be any GUI. Now, all the clients, at least, even though they are using GUI at the moment, everyone, keeping mind I mean, cloud platform. Even though if you do S4 now, you can use both GUI and Fury, but let's say down the line, 10 years or maybe 5 years later, slowly they will not use GUI anymore. It's completely a cloud, and the GUI transactions doesn't support anymore the cloud, right? So that's the reason. Even businesses also, not only the cycles, if you are going to develop any custom enhancements or reports, forget about enhancement, for custom reports, um, even SAP suggesting try to develop a Fury app for the custom report rather a GUI transaction. And for that also there are different technology introduced RAP, some kind of new reporting dimensions are came, RAP reporting, etc. Probably ABAPers knows more about it. So that, I mean, if you use that technology, and if you, by using that RAP, if you develop the Fury app and everything, it will be easy for them to migrate. Even though if you are using, I mean, a normal on-premises version to cloud version in the future, okay, with the less efforts. Otherwise, that GUI report, they may not. I mean, there could be some technical challenges to migrate on-premises to cloud. Okay, so that's what I mean. SAP at least recommending to use Fury as much as possible. Yeah, but there are still some limitations. To be honest, GUI, you can do anything, whatever you want. I mean, number of fields. I mean, multi-dimensional field selection, something. But those things still, I mean, not available in Fury. They have certain limitations, but still, I mean, they are doing some kind of R&D, and they're trying to fix it. Especially, I mean, in terms of custom reports, right? So still there are some what do you say, some fields are not available, or some kind of, you know calculations and all not possible in Fury. Especially if you are reporting a custom report, if it is direct data, okay, let's take value from so and so field, so and so table, it's easy. But if you ask them to do a mathematical formula, then it will be little bit problem in Fury reporting, because it's not complete coding like ABAP. They're doing some kind of, I mean, whenever you prepare a Fury report, right, in the back end, they will prepare a view first. Okay. Like, they'll combine some 4 or 5 tables. I mean, they join the tables, and they'll prepare a view. That view will give you the consolidated results. Then they read the data from that view. Okay. If you ask them to write a formula, okay, divide this field by another field and multiply with another field, or add by some other field, then it is a very problem. As of now, I mean, it looks complicated for them. Okay. So in this allocations app, there is another functionality also available. Okay. So we have upload, download, right? So what you can do, you can download an Excel template to create cycles. Okay. This is the new functionality in this Fury app, but this is also not full-fledged. I don't know whether you know, in GUI, if you want to create assessment or distribution cycles, to be honest, it will be a very I mean, creating assessment cycles and distribution cycles by using a upload functionality, right? Like Excel upload or something. It is very difficult, program we have to build. It's not so easy, because the senders, especially the receivers, right? When you select multiple senders, the receivers will get created automatically, dynamically, like combinations, especially in terms of COPA allocation cycles. Okay, cost center, it's fine. I mean, based on the sender and the receivers, it will just one cost center and multiple cost centers. But when it comes to COPA allocation, I mean, the receiver dimensions are very different, because if you select one product, one customer combination, then if you have 10 products and 10 customers, it will create multiple combinations. So it is very difficult for the developer to understand what segment it is getting. I mean, what will be my receiver, based on the different different characteristics you select. So it will be very, difficult to create a custom program for this assessment and the distribution cycles. But here SAP also came up with some functionality. You can download the template, for example, download blank template. Okay, if you see here, you have to fill all the details, like how you are creating the cycle, right? In this download functionality, you have cycle, context, ledger valid from valid to cycle description, etc. Segment, in the segment, again, who is the sender, segment details like what cost you are going to transfer. Senders, you have to mention the sender values. Okay. And receivers, you have to fill all the receivers. Receiver base, like whether you are going to use a statistical key figure or something. Derivation rules are not used. So all the descriptions, like here, what are all the fields you can use? For cost center, you have to use this field. Order, you have to use this field. Cost center, we have to use different field, like that. Customer, all the fields they have given to fill the data, but they have not given option to enter the percentages or something, right? In the cycle, we have option to, so this receiving, in the receiver tracing factor, we have 60/40. We have entered the percentages here, but in the cycle, we don't have that option. Till base, he has, like, okay, whether it is what kind of base it is, you know, whether it is SKF or percentage or something else. So till that time only we can mention. But to upload that, let's say you are selecting percentage as a base, okay, but you don't have option to upload for which cost center, okay, which percentage, that we don't have in this Excel file. Okay, the meaning here is you can only create till segments. Okay, you can create all the segments, then the percentages you have to upload separately. Okay, this is also one of the limitation, and we spoke to SAP, and SAP also suggested same thing, like, it's very difficult when you are creating cycle. System doesn't know how many, receivers, combination of receivers you are going to create. So system doesn't know. Once you create the segments, then only system will understand, okay, by considering this sender and receiver. In the receiver, if you select multiple combinations, like as I said earlier, in the COPA especially, you have to select multiple characteristics while you transferring the cost. Okay, in that case, what happens? It will create different, you know, receiver receivers. So that you cannot predict when you are creating your cycle. Okay, so that's what SAP also mentioned to us, like, that is very difficult and it's not possible dynamically to create. When downloading itself, what kind of, uh, data you will get. So that's what it's not possible. You have to create cycles separately, segments separately. Once the segments are being created, um, if you, again, the percentages needs to upload separately. Okay, this is also another challenge to use this. What do you say? Excel upload. And business is also not convincing with my experience, at least, because what is the value add I am getting by using this Fury app? This is the question from business. Correct, right? From their point of view, it's the right question. So whether I use GUI or why I use this app, it doesn't make any sense at the end. I mean, for my allocations, only thing is I'm using one single app for all the allocations, but it's not really giving any business value add for me. Yeah, at least in my current client, we demonstrated they're not happy with this cycle, then we are using still same GUI. Okay, again, I mean, it depends. Some people may like it. Okay, since all the cycles can be created in say one single, there is we don't need to remember all the transaction codes, and we don't need to run multiple cycles by using multiple transaction codes. But yeah, it's again the clients and the controller interest. So here, I mean, if you go to the home screen, right? Uh, yeah, if you see here, there are different things are there, like accounts payable, procurement, accounts receivable, like that. I mean, since this is the test system, they have created all the Fury apps available here. Okay. Otherwise, what they will do, I mean, when we are role matrix, right? Roles and authorization matrix. So for finance or maybe for controlling, they will create one kind of this role. I mean, role ID. Okay. Under this role ID, they will assign all the apps. I mean, we have to request from the controlling perspective, right? So we need to request the Fury team to, these are the apps are required as part of controlling. Let's say you have some, uh, I mean, let's say in controlling we are using altogether like 50 apps. So all the 50 apps will be linked to this one role. Let's say we have I mean CO role in place of this account receivable. We have controlling one role is there. So for that user, he can select from the, I mean, he can directly go to that role, okay? Or else, I mean, from that role, you can select, I mean, if you select that role, it will disclose the apps belongs to that role. And also all the controllers, I mean, let's say in controlling, there are some 4 or 5 controllers might be used there, or maybe end user will be 1 or 2 persons, right? Or maybe like that. So again, he will have access to couple of Fury apps, like some 3, 4 apps he will be having access. Okay, maximum 5 apps. So he can bookmark or maybe he can add to his favorites. Okay. Uh, yeah, he can add all those apps here. Okay. So that the apps will be available. I mean, what are the apps he frequently use? Those apps styles will be available here. See, here it is giving the allocation context. Now there are so many cycles, right? So one thing is like we have to this context, whether it is this context is nothing but whether it is scope assessment or cost center assessment. And in the cycle description also, we have to, I mean, we need to give some clear cycle description, like cost center allocation, fin cost center something. I mean, fin cost center allocation, admin cost center allocation, something, some kind of valid cycle description should be there. By using this context also, you can see whether it is cost center or OP assessment or profit center. No, it's by default it was selected, so I forgot to tell you. Yeah, this is another challenge. I mean, Fury is very slow. Okay, so we have created that cycle, right? So let me company code. So here the derivation functional area is there, no?
Okay.
Yeah. It's by default it's selected. But this is only required, as I said earlier, if you're using the functional area and cost of sales method in your reporting. Yeah, then it's required. Otherwise, it's not required. Okay, so in cost center, we have completed the allocations, right? So we have completed cost center assessment and distribution. Okay, and SKFs also we discussed, but I told you, right? I mean, SKF is like it's a kind of base here we have used. SKF is like, I mean, percentages in the receiver percentages. Whereas if you want to allocate, by using statistical key figures, we have to create them SKFs. Like I said, right? I mean, it might be like square feet, or it may be number of employees, or maybe number of telephone lines, something like that. But to be honest, I mean, people are not preferring that SKF, at least in the allocations. Some may use. I mean, I will not deny that fact. Okay, but it's like additional efforts, right? As I said earlier, just creating SKF doesn't work. Again, we have to maintain some data to that SKF. For example, I'll create an SKF. Let's see how it works. You have to mention the unit of measure. Yeah, we have to select the right dimension for number of persons. Let's see something we have. Okay, for example, number of persons. I've created 100 as a statistical key figure. It denotes number of persons. Okay. Now, I need to maintain for each cost center how many members are there when you are transferring the cost, right? So, for example, SKF. So now, okay, now we are transferring the cost from admin to production and production 1 and production 2, right? SKF. See, for the whole year, I need to mention, like, for these two cost centers, this is the SKF. Okay, so in production cost center, how many people are there? For example, 120 people are there. Distribution equal. Again, it's the same cost center. Here, 60 people are there, for example, or maybe. Yeah. Now, what happens? Now we have entered here. We have planned the SKF, like in cost center, we have 120 employees. Here, 160 employees are there. Now we have to go to the cycle again. Okay. The cycle sender receiver rules. Here, segment header. Here you need to select variable portions. Okay. Once the variable portion selected, then you have to select plan SKF. Okay. Go to sender receiver. Senders. So here it is asking receiving factors like version 0. What is the SKF? You have to select 100. Now we no need to enter anything. here in the receiving weighing factor. By default, it's showing 100. I mean 100%. It's like factor. Here we don't need to enter anything here. System, what it does, when you execute this cycle, then it will go to this particular cost center, and we have just maintained the plan data, right? Plan SKF on the basis of 1:6. I mean 12:6, I would say. So we have maintained 120 and 60. System itself, it will calculate the ratio. So 12:6. In that ratio, it will transfer the. Let's say you have 1,000 euros are there in the finance cost center or admin cost center, that will get transferred to both the cost centers on the ratio of 12:6. Okay, because I mean, in 110, 120 employees are there in one cost center, another cost center 60, right? It will calculate the ratio and it will update the. I mean, it will allocate the cost that way. We don't need to mention any percentages in the receiving factor. Okay. Or else let's try now itself. Okay, I will not show this one anymore. This is finance cost center, right? Let me reverse this cycle first. Period 5. Assessment reverse. Deactivate the test run indicator. Okay. Reversal finished. Okay. Okay, if you see here again, I mean, I have reversed the cycle, right? So now it's showing 6,400 as a cost. This cost now we are transferring to again production 1 and production 2 by using what do you say, statistical key figures. Okay. Now again, I will go to cycle. KSU5. Okay. Extra cycle change for segment. So here I need to select variable portions. Again, what is the variable portion type? Like plan statistical key figures. Sender, I'm not changing anything here. Here also no changes. Here tracing factor 0 version, and SKF I need to give here 100. If you have multiple SKFs, again you have to enter multiple SKFs here. Then nothing is required, just save it. Check cycle. Okay, yes, okay. Cycle. Okay, now try to execute this cycle. I don't know, I mean, in the cycle it's showing like some error, but yeah, it is transferred. If you see here, the cost is transferred to both the cost centers. Okay, production we got some 4,267.67. Here it is 2,133. So what is the total cost we have? 6,400. Let me go to Excel. So 6,400. 1 is 12 and 6, right? I mean 126. For 120, this is PRD1. This is PRD2. this divided by okay 4266.67 to 133.33. Okay, so if I go here, so 426766.67 here to 133.33. So it has taken the statistical key figure as a base and it has allocated. Okay, if I go to the actual lines also, you can see here. Again, I mean, you will have the accounting document. I mean, there is no change in the functionality, but only the thing is like in the backend, its system calculate the percentage, I mean, the ratios based on the data you entered in the SKFs. Okay, that's the only difference. And we no need to enter any kind of percentages while creating the cycle. So, but again, I mean, we need to create the master, I mean, SKFs, and also we need to maintain SKF data. That is additional activity has to perform by the business. If they want to change it every month or maybe quarterly or yearly also, they have to change it. Okay, that's how the SKF will work. Okay, next one is manual reposting of cost. So let's say you have posted your FI document, okay, with the wrong cost center, right? Later you realize it like, okay, that is not wrong cost, I mean, cost center, right? Now you have to transfer that cost to this new cost center. Either you have to do one thing, either you have to reverse the FI entry, then post a new entry. That is one option. Okay, and business doesn't want, I mean, I don't want to post the already posted invoice. I mean, not invoice, I mean, accounting document. Okay, just I need to adjust in the CO itself to the cost center balances. So what you will do, you will, I mean, use this option, manual reposting of primary cost, so that you will just adjust the cost center amounts, so that in the reporting side, you will have the right picture from the controlling perspective. Anyway, I mean, FI balance, you're not going to change the GL account. I mean, what GL account you have used while posting, same GL account will be used. But only in CO, we will adjust that posting. Okay. But there are two transaction codes here, manual reposting of cost. One is this manual reposting of primary cost. Another one is reposting line items, KB61 and KB11. So here there are two transaction codes. So one is reposting of line items and another one is manual reposting of cost. What is the difference between these two? I mean, both the transaction are, will be used. I mean, both the transaction will be used to adjust the cost center balance only. Okay. But here, I mean, by using KB11N, if you use this KB11N, system will not stop you to post any amount. For example, you want to transfer, let's say, I mean, from production cost center, you want to again some value to, let's say, I mean, you have the time being, okay, cost element salaries. Yeah. Now this is the old cost center. This is the cost element. Okay. Primary cost, for example, 1,000. I would like to transfer. Receiver cost center. Okay. Let's say from. Okay, I will transfer to admin. So what happens? For example, in the production cost center for this account, let's see the report. What value is there? Salaries I have only. No, 1 second. Okay. For example, I have only 600. Okay. Out of 600, if you use this particular transaction, right, enter manual reposting of cost center, here I have only 600. let's say this 600 you got posted wrongly. Okay, but system will not, if user enters 1000 here also, system won't stop you to post, right? Then there is a chance of posting more value, right? Ideally you have to post 600 here. I mean, this is the 600 figure is wrong, but if you enter 1000 also, it will allow you to post. So again, it will create further problems, right? I mean, again, ideally we supposed to transfer 600, but if you enter 1000, let's say enter 1000, if I go here, report, refresh, see it's showing again minus 400 here. Okay, so this is the disadvantage by using this reverse manual posting of cost. I mean, you should make sure that, okay, you are transferring the right amount. Okay, because system doesn't have control how much you are transferring, whichever amount. I mean, you can transfer any amount. I mean, it will not stop you to transfer one cost center to another cost center. Okay, so we should be very careful here if you are using this transaction code. Otherwise, we have another transaction. This KB61 also you can use. Here you have a limitation because you want to correct exact that line item. Okay, for example, cost element. Uh, this one, for example, now I think this one we will see 5 lakh 2. Production. Okay, let's correct then the production one. We will see. 6. Yeah, what happened? No document rows were selected. Then new criteria. Well, if you know the accounting document number also, we can enter the accounting document number, and with that you can correct it. But why it's not, no document rows were selected for new criteria? Okay. Yeah, because I mean, this it is showing only the document numbers. I mean, we have posted, right? These are the 2 documents we have posted through FI. Okay, this one for admin cost center and other lines are for finance cost center. Okay, now if you want to adjust this particular line, for example, this line, okay, if you enter 1000 here, assign a number range to business transaction RQ3. Okay, RQ, let me do yeah. Okay, KNK. Okay, here for example, now we have 2000 are there in this particular cost center. Okay, so this 2000 you can directly, and I mean, adjust here to another cost center, for example, production. Okay, you can save it, or else out of this 2000, let's say 12,000, 1200, keep it to production, and remaining 800 keep it, post it to production cost center. So 800, it is splitting when you and split the amount like 1200 and 800, it will asking, it will creating another line. Okay, for this line you can enter probably fin. Okay, so meaning you can adjust the whole line item amount to multiple cost centers, or else you can post it. You can entirely transfer that amount to another cost center, but you cannot here. If you enter here like 1000, it will not allow. The amount entered is larger than the amount to be posted. So here that restriction is there. Since you are using line item by line item posting, you have a limit, restriction here. So if you want to use this transaction also, you can use. Both the transaction use, but other transaction is for use. It is user friendly. I would say simply you can give the sender and receiver cost center, but when you are posting the amount, we should be very careful how much amount you want to transfer. Otherwise, there may be chance of posting a wrong value. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes.
Okay. So with this, we have completed most of the topics in cost center accounting, and we have one more thing is there, like indirect activity allocation, that I will tell you during product costing. How it works, indirect activity allocation. That indirect activity allocation, we will transfer the production hours from one cost center to another cost center. Once we start doing the production cost center, product costing, that time it will be, it is easy for us to understand.